I'm honored to be on with you.
All right, we are live. Welcome, Ramley. How are my Rams super fans doing today? Right now, we have a special guest, Payo Time. Please, Payo Time, introduce yourself. Let them know who you are, what you do, and where they can find you.
Oh, Nick. Well, my name is Payo Time, as you say. I'm a huge, massive Rams fan. I have a YouTube channel, Payo Time, just like I have it right over here. Yeah, I like to say I'm just the Rams YouTuber who's having a ton of fun. I do a lot of vlogs. I do a watch party for each and every Rams game. So I'm gonna be doing a Super Bowl watch party, which I'm pretty stoked about, and I'm gonna have some pre-game Rams trivia, which will be a fun time. And thanks for having me on. I know we kind of did this last minute, but I'm stoked to talk some football with you, Nick.
Yeah. Anybody watching this, I tried to do the Super Bowl watch party for Super Bowl 34, and they kicked me off for copyright infringement. So now we're here. So super last minute. Thank you so much for joining. If anybody hasn't had the opportunity to check out a Payo Time video, please do. It's very entertaining. His watch parties are really entertaining as well. I try to check out some of it every week. It's definitely worth the watch. Yeah, definitely. But let's get into it. You know why we're here. We're talking about the big game. It's still weird. Thinking about it. What?
Three more sleeps. 3 more sleeps.
Yeah, 3 more slumbers. Yeah. What was your feeling when that interception took place, and you knew for a fact we were going to Super Bowl 56?
Oh, even thinking about it is giving me the oh man. I honestly, my initial reaction was I had to do the math in my head of like, okay, wait, like if they get the ball back, and then I didn't even clue in that like that part of the field, like I was already thinking like, okay, can we kill the clock? But then I realized I'm like, yes, we can kill the clock. We're going to the Super Bowl. and I just like it went from like doing math in my head and like not being able to calculate it to like, wait, we're going to the Super Bowl. We're going to the Super Bowl. The Rams are going to the Super Bowl. Matthew Stafford has led this team to the Super Bowls almost a year, or on the day it was exactly a year from the trade. And it's just, dude, it's been a fun season to be a Rams fan. Like I know you and I, we're kind of a similar era. We both became fans in that 99 Super Bowl with Kurt Warner and the Greatest Show on Turf. And there's been some tough years. But it's been a lot of fun. And this season, honestly, like doing this YouTube thing combined with just, my love and my knowledge of the team, expanding, it's been one of my favorite seasons to be a Rams fan and a football fan.
Yeah, definitely. My favorite season being a Rams fan was 2018 until this year. This year it's just I talk about the peaks and the valleys. We had a few of them this year, and that makes right now feel so much better. If it was all riding high the whole year, it wouldn't feel as good. I was actually on vacation.
You're in Aruba.
Yeah, we were in Aruba, and our vacation was booked months and months in advance. And when we booked it, I wasn't really thinking about the NFC Championship game. And then after everything was booked, it dawned on me like, oh no, I'm like, hopefully it's the Pro Bowl weekend. Hopefully it's the Pro Bowl weekend. I did the math and I was like, man, that's the NFC Championship game. That sucks. But I was able to watch the first half of the game at a bar at our hotel room. And, I had the 2 kids with me at the bar. Well, my daughter, who is a little over 1, she actually fell asleep. So I had her in the stroller at the bar. And then my wife had my son, they were off at the park. And the second half, though, we they were all tired. So we went back to the hotel room. I was able to watch the second half in the hotel room. And It was just my wife knows nothing about football at
Oh,
all. So, so she's just like, I hope you guys win for everybody's sake here.
yeah,
Um, and we ended up going up by 3 points, and they had the ball with like maybe 2 minutes left to
yeah,
go in the
just
game.
under, I think, yeah.
And she's like, "Oh, it's only 2 minutes left. You guys are gonna win, right? You guys are winning." And I'm like,
Doesn't work that way.
I'm like, I was like, just a couple weeks ago, we played this team and we were up 7 with like a minute to go and no timeouts, and they came back. Man, when Aaron Donald got his hands on Jimmy Garoppolo and he threw the ball, I just like, no, like he's got away so many times. It seemed like that game where we almost had him and he just threw the ball away or he just slipped out. Man, when that ball got tipped up and he caught that interception, man, I screamed.
Howard.
Both my kids were scared. They didn't know what was happening.
Probably wonder if dad's okay.
Yeah, I think everybody in the hotel floor probably woke up, and man, it was exciting. It was exciting. I wish I had my reaction recorded. I lost my voice. My voice was perfectly fine until the interception.
Yeah.
I lost my voice and everything. It was amazing, man.
Oh man.
Yeah, yeah. I try to tell everybody, please enjoy this while you can, because
Yeah,
you never know
absolutely.
when you're gonna get
You
back
never,
to this
yeah,
point.
no, it, and even like in my in my vlogs this week, I've tried to always just like like ever since honestly the beginning of the season, I've tried to always promote that like having expectations as a fan is just the biggest blessing ever, right? Like
Mhm.
because I remember the days, you remember the
Yeah,
days of like,
yeah,
man, like maybe we can have a winning record, like,
yeah,
or like maybe we can like get in the playoffs,
yeah.
right? Like, I love that the expectation is like, hey, we got a shot at the Super Bowl,
Yeah.
right? Like,
With Jeff Fisher, it was always, "Man, are we gonna get over 7-9 this year? Come on. We could go
yeah,
9-7 this year." That was the big thing with him.
oh,
Yeah.
that's so dumb. That was, okay, I don't. I'm careful when I talk to Ram fans about Jeff Fisher because we can quickly get salty so fast. But like for me, it was. I remember it was the game in London. We were playing the Patriots, and I truly am someone that I try not to be overly critical of
Mhm.
coaches and players. I believe everyone should get a fair shot, and even like immediate success is great, but sometimes delayed success is the norm.
Mhm.
And I was someone when Fisher got hired, I was honestly excited. Like
Yeah.
I thought it was the right hire.
Yep, me
And
too.
for me, the moment I lost all faith in Fisher and I wanted him fired was in that game against New England in London. They got smoked.
Blown out, I
Yeah,
remember.
the Rams scored on the opening drive, and that's the only time they made it past half the rest of the game. And in Jeff Fisher's post-game press conference, oh, this makes me so ticked. He said, "Our team is not yet built to compete with a team like this."
Yeah.
And
Well,
that was just like, dude, this is your second season with the Rams.
mhm.
What are you doing? Like,
Now,
well,
was
like
this was what year w do you know who our quarterback was at the time?
it was Bradford still.
Bradford, yeah, but this wasn't rookie this was Bradford a
No,
few years in.
yeah, it was third year Bradford, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, at that time, you got your quarterback, like, this is literally your job is to
Like,
get us
you know
ready
what?
to compete.
Bradford, I think, was injured, to be fair. So I think it actually might have been Austin Davis.
Yeah, don't get me started on Bradford,
Yeah. Oh. Anyway, we're in the Super Bowl now,
yeah,
so that's what
yeah,
we're
let's leave that in the
yeah,
past, and,
yeah,
we have a question here,
yeah.
about the Super Bowl.
Hey.
Um, he says, "What do you think the Rams' main plan will be versus the Bengals?" That's one question. The second question is, do you think the pass rush with Vaughn and Aaron Donald, uh, or or is it the deep ball? And guard how do we guard T Higgins and Jamar Chase? So what do you think the Rams' main game plan against the Bengals are? And do you think that's Von Miller and Aaron Donald's pass rush?
Yeah, so I actually I'm a big advocate that maybe something we're not talking about enough is having our full stable of running backs in this game. I could see a scenario where Cam Akers is the first and second down back. Henderson comes in for the third down, like passing down work. And then Sony Michelle is kind of in short yardage situations, but also Akers as well, because both of them can pound the rock, right? Um, I I'm of the mindset that the receivers get talked about a lot of both these teams, the Bengals and the Rams, but it actually might be a game where the team that can catch the best out of the backfield, the team that can run the ball efficiently.
Mhm.
So I think the Rams, even though we don't necessarily get the most rushing yards, we are a zone run scheme that's able to set up our pass better by having an efficient efficient run game. I always say, like, my favorite like I love seeing I love seeing Stafford under center. I'd rather see him under
Yeah.
center than in the gun most of the time. And I think if we can keep that balance, there's a chance that the Rams could really stick it to this Bengals defense, and this Bengals defense has been keeping them in games, so you have to respect that. But I do think that the Rams can win this game.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I think when it comes to the running backs, it's like first of all, I think it's a shame that we never really got to see Sony Michelle, Cam Akers, and Daryl Henderson healthy. I would have liked to see how that worked. And
It
same
took
thing
all
with our
three. Mhm.
yeah, same thing with our wide receivers even more. We never got to see Woods, Beckham, and Kupp, uh, which is weird. Maybe, hopefully we get to see it next year at
Yeah.
some time. Um, but I honestly think this coaching staff wants to run and pound the ball with Cam Akers. It seems like as good as Sony Michelle was running, I'm a
Mhm.
huge Sony Michelle fan after
Yeah.
this season. I think even when Cam Akers came back, I thought Sony Michelle should get the bulk of the carries. And still today, I still think Sony Michelle should be our leading back and Cam Akers should get work after him. But to me, I feel like it's clear that the coaching staff likes Cam Akers more, and
Mhm.
I can't really fault them for that. Um, I have no idea how they're going to use Henderson if they are. I kind of
Yeah.
have a feeling that Henderson gets 1, 2 carries, just
Yeah.
like
If
Jake
that.
Funk
Yeah.
did. Yeah,
Yeah.
just like Jake Funk did a couple of weeks ago. But I don't know. I'd be interested to see a three-headed monster though. That would be nice to see. Um, I have another question
Oh, that's a tough
myself here.
question. I read it.
Um, oh, do you think the Rams right now could be the greatest show on turf? I don't think so. No way. I think the greatest show on turf had literally the greatest offense ever assembled. Um, the quarterback was the MVP of the season. He didn't have as much as I love Stafford. Stafford has some ups and he has some really down downs. Kurt Warner didn't. That running game, Cam Akers, Sony Michelle couldn't hold a candle to
Marshall Falk,
Marshall
yeah.
Falk.
I think Marshall
Uh,
Falk would be kind of the deal breaker. I think
yep.
I think it'd be a good game, but I'd still give it to the greatest show on turf. Yeah,
Yeah, and quietly that defense was really good
yeah,
for the greatest show on turf.
yeah,
So I don't think so. I think it's a wash. But um, even like you think of that 2001 team that lost to the Patriots in the Super Bowl. That team was the favorite to win the Super Bowl before the season started, and they
yeah.
smoked through the regular season, and they were heavily favored against the Patriots that game.
Mhm.
Um, that team was amazing too. I think that team beats this team, but
Yeah. Like, and people forget, right, that like the greatest show on turf in both 99, 2000, and 2001, like those were teams that you truly felt like you were watching a game of Madden, right?
Mhm.
Like
Yeah,
it seemed like a video game, and
yeah,
it was just there were so many playmakers. Any given play, someone could take it to the house.
right. Yeah, definitely, definitely. People were scared to play against those teams. They came to play. You had to pack a long lunch
Mm.
because it was going to be a long day for you. Um, but going back to the Super Bowl, talking about the Super Bowl this year, we lost to the Patriots in the Super Bowl. We were by far a better team. If this was a basketball season and that was a 7-game series, we are Super Bowl champions. But
Yeah.
like I said, that's the reason why the NFL is the greatest league in the world, because you don't have to be the better team to win the Super Bowl. You just have to be better for 60 minutes.
Yeah.
And as excited I am for as excited as I am for this game, and as confident as I am in this game, you still have to be very uneasy
Yeah.
knowing that you don't have to be the better team to come out victorious.
Yeah.
I have a question with Tyler Higbee's status up in
Yeah.
the air. What is your thoughts on Tyler Higbee, and what importance does he bring to this offense, and what do you think is going to happen? What do you think the Rams offense is going to be missing without him?
Yeah, and that's something we're gonna have to watch, for the next couple of days. I'm optimistic towards him playing, just because I think it's the Super Bowl, and unless like a team doctor literally tells you like no,
Mhm.
like I don't think Higbee would sit out. I know he rested today, and I personally think that at this point in the season, all rest is strategic rest.
Mhm.
If he was going to be out, like I I don't know for the Super Bowl why you would take a starter player and make him a game time decision at this point. It might be a game time decision on paper, like for us as fans, but I think the coaching staff knows if he's going to play or not. Because he has had the 2 weeks to recover the best he could. If
Mhm.
he doesn't play, give it props. Kendall Blankton, like he showed up and he put in his plays.
Yeah.
And I think Blankton, I'm totally comfortable with him like as a blocking tight end. I don't know if he has the same hands or route
Mhm.
running ability as Higbee does.
Yeah, it's such a
Um,
small sample size that we've seen him play. He's looked good when we've seen him,
yeah,
but it's such a small
yeah,
sample size. You don't know if it's just, he had a good game, a good couple games, or is this really who he truly is? But I like what I've seen so far from him. Um,
yeah. And Higbee, Higbee quietly is one of the better tight ends in the NFL. He doesn't get the
uh-huh.
same praise as like a Kittle or a Kelsey, but
Yeah.
he's definitely like a top 10 tight end.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. And I think where he helps us out the most is in the running game.
Mhm.
He's a very good blocker.
Yeah,
Um, and I think we definitely need him, and definitely could use him specifically in the running game. We don't necessarily need him to go out there and catch the ball for us. It's always a positive when he does, but we can definitely spread the love around the field. But as far as the passing game goes, but I think where we'll miss him is a little bit in the running game.
totally.
Yeah, I have another question here. Um, he asked, did you guys think the Bengals were gonna be in the Super Bowl? Because I thought it was gonna be the Rams versus the Chiefs.
The way these playoffs have went, honestly, I was not confident saying it was going to be a Rams Chiefs. I really felt the Rams could beat the Niners. I was so nervous leading up to that game.
Mhm.
But it was just one of those things that was like, please beat the Niners, please beat the Niners,
Yeah,
please beat the Niners. And then they did. I was shocked. Like the Bengals beating the Chiefs was a clear upset. Like very few people were like, "Oh yeah, I totally called the Bengals beating the
yeah,
Chiefs." Like
yeah,
no one was thinking that. Like there was definitely this like, okay, like the Bengals could hang tight and maybe steal the game, and that's what they did. And I think this Bengals team, if they've proven anything, it's if you let them stay with you all
yeah,
game and they have the ball last, there's a good chance they're going to win it because
yeah,
they have a good kicker and they
yeah,
have playmakers that can get down the field and make those clutch catches.
yeah.
So I'm hoping we're not in that scenario.
Mhm.
That being said, we do have the best corner in the game, and we do have Von Miller, Leonard Floyd, Aaron Donald, Greg Gaines. Like we have some playmakers for that situation, which against the Niners, they had that same chance where if Garoppolo takes them down the field and scores, a field goal, takes into overtime, could have happened. But thankfully, our defense stepped up, and so I'll be super nervous if we're in that situation where we're up by like a point and the Burrow and the Bengals have the ball with like 2 minutes left and a timeout. Like I'll be nervous.
Yeah. I did not see the Bengals getting anywhere near the Super Bowl. Honestly, I had them. Yeah, I had them beating the Raiders in the first in the wild card round.
Yeah.
I had them getting destroyed by the Titans, and then I also had them getting destroyed by the Chiefs. But it's why the NFL is. I always say
I
that's why
love
the
it.
NFL is the best league in the world. It's so many times. I don't know if you're a fan of basketball.
Toronto Raptors. Oh
Yeah. But it's so often you say, "Oh, I know who
Yeah.
easily
who's
Warriors versus the Bucks this year," or you get about 4 or 5 teams that had NFL. You have no idea. It's so many times the best team doesn't win it. I was very shocked that they beat the Titans, especially in the fashion that they did. They really beat them with defense because their offense didn't really get going. That offense got sacked 9 times. Joe Burrow still played phenomenal, even though he was completely under duress the whole game, which is something that worries me a little bit. I'm trying to remember the statistics off the top of my head. I want to say he got sacked 9 times, was always under pressure, but still managed 348 passing yards,
insane.
75% completion percentage, and a passer rating of 93.1, I believe. Something along those lines, really close to that if those numbers aren't completely 100% accurate. But he played a phenomenal game, even though he was constantly under pressure. I truly believe that he's gonna have to do that this Sunday, though, if he has any chance of winning.
He's gonna be under pressure. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Like we've seen those guards. We know what that interior line, has. It's a clear weakness for the Bengals for sure.
Yeah. They were saying this may be the worst offensive line to ever make a Super Bowl, which is scary to think. If you looked at the Pro Football Focus grade of their right guard, they've actually been doing something weird where they like kind of rotate their right guards.
Interesting.
Yeah, they called it. I forgot what they called it. But something that they were kind of rotating the right guards.
Huh.
It was between 2 of them. I forget their names. But they're switching them in and out. And the one who is the starter who plays most of the time has like a Pro Football Focus like ranking of like, I think out of like 100 guards, he was like 97 or something like that, or something really bad, and he was the better one. So it could potentially get really bad for them. But you never know. It's gonna come down to how Joe Burrow handles that pressure, and it's gonna come down to the game plan, because you can game plan pressure away if you do it very well.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like I fully expect them to see lots of bootlegs out to the right.
Yeah.
To give him more time. And I think probably like from the Bengals perspective, seeing how good P. Ryan and Mixon do in the pass blocking game to help to give their quarterback some time to throw it. I think that's maybe a matchup we're not talking about enough.
Yeah, definitely. I don't know, man. I'm so excited about this. I always like in my videos to give fair. I try to look at the game from both sides.
Yeah.
I do want to look at this. I want to ask you the question: if the Bengals do win, how do you see it happening?
Oh, even the thought of that, I hate that. I think if the Bengals win, I honestly think it will be because the Rams beat themselves. If you look at all of our losses this year, it's because the Rams beat themselves.
Yeah.
And I say that confidently that I don't think there's a team that beat us this year. I think that there's teams that we made mistakes early or late.
Spotted on points.
Yeah, we spotted in points, and also there were plays that just for whatever reason, didn't bounce the Rams' way, and that's why like one of the games I hope we never forget is that Bucks game because we were chugging along and you go up 27 points, and when the fumbles started to happen, like Kupp fumbled, Akers fumbles twice, the horrible snap from Brian Allen.
Yeah.
And that's when everyone, all the Creed Humphrey, believers in there were like, we should have drafted Creed Humphrey, which we're gonna hear about for the rest of Creed Humphrey's career. And like it was just everything was going wrong, and like I remember watching it being like, please no, I don't want to be another tick on Brady's resume in one of those games, right? Like I didn't want that, and to have Stafford and Kupp, I did not want that game to go into overtime. I did not want that, and it was looking like it was going to do that. So to have Stafford and Kupp make those two catches, to get us into field goal range, just that's what I felt we were kind of missing all season long. And the only other time that we really saw that was twice. We saw it when we beat the Ravens because nothing was going right in that game. And then we were able to, stay with it and come back and win. And then probably the most forgotten game of the season, but it was so good, was the Colts win. Because I believe we were down 14 at one point in that game.
Yeah, game was ugly.
And we were able to come back and win that. That was back in week 3. So I'm hoping like if we start the game where just like nothing's going right, Stafford, has a couple of bad throws, maybe a pick or something, or a fumble. I'm hoping that we can just have that resilience to be like, okay, like, so we got to change this up. And I know Ram fans will be hoping that Sean McVay doesn't waste timeouts.
Yeah. Somebody, whoever was in that Niners game, in his ear telling him to throw the challenge flag on those two plays, man. Take the headset off and give it to somebody else.
Okay. Well, to be fair, Sean McVay, if you actually look at his history of challenges, his entire head coaching career, he's not good.
Yeah.
Like I forget what it was, but like I remember doing like a while ago I did a video of like the top 5 things that annoy me about Sean McVay, but I still love him. And like one of them was his use of challenges. Yeah. Because like I think he's like out of the NFL coaches since he's been a hire, he is the worst at like successful challenges.
Yeah. Yeah, he needs to hire somebody to give him the go ahead on those challenges.
Hire Mike Pereira or hire us. We'll do it.
Yeah, man. That's doesn't seem difficult. Just look at the replay a couple times. Yeah, he especially with those timeouts. The timeouts are what frustrate me the most. But
the McVay third quarter timeout.
Yeah.
I don't.
It's the age-old question of, is 5 yards worth of timeout?
Yeah.
Just take the delay of game sometimes.
And like I would love to one day get to like ask Sean McVay or have some reporter ask McVay, like, is the third quarter timeout, like, it has to be a strategy thing where like he believes
he's superstitious. That's what it is. Got to take a third quarter timeout.
Yeah, like is it just sort of like he believes that like as long as he has 2 timeouts and the 2-minute warning in the fourth, he's good, that like he can waste one in the third, even though there's been so many times where it's like why couldn't we have just taken the 5-yard penalty instead of like saving that timeout? But anyway, I digress.
Yeah, I watched a video today from Nick Wright. Do you know Nick Wright? Yeah. For you guys that don't know, he's an analyst. He works for Fox Sports, and he made me feel very good. He said he believes that the Bengals are a horrible team and they shouldn't be in the Super Bowl in the first place, and that this Sunday will be a bloodbath. Now, as much as I want to agree with him, there's part of me that think that really truly believes that could happen.
Mm-hmm.
but there's a part of me that just believes that the NFL is going to find a way. The football gods are going to find a way to make this game very interesting. But I wanted to look at, like, what do you say about the Bengals who lost to the Reds? Or no, I'm sorry, they lost to the Bears this year. They lost to they needed a last second field goal to beat the Jaguars. They also lost to the Jets.
Oh
Uh,
yeah.
yeah, they lost to the who else did they lose to? They lost to the Browns this year twice. You don't really want to count the last game of the season when they sat them, but they did lose to the Browns, with all starters playing. Um, and then you look at the Bengals now. Do you think that this Bengals team is masquerading as a champion, or do you really think this Bengals team has turned a corner?
Um, I honestly think it comes down to the old saying of like get hot at the right time, right? And this Bengals team, they're clearly a flawed team.
Mm.
There's definitely some weaknesses on that team, and like I had a collaboration with a Bengals fan earlier today on my channel, and he predicted the Bengals at the beginning of the season to go 8-9.
Yeah.
Right, like their own fans did not see this coming for them, right?
Mm.
And again, that's one of the things I love about football is you can have a
Yeah.
team like the Bengals come out of nowhere and do this. And I think that they're a team with talent, a lot of young players that got better as the season went on. And some of the losses that you mentioned there, the reality is they don't matter anymore.
Mhm.
Like their teams in the Super Bowl. It doesn't matter how you got there.
Yeah.
Like you just got to get there, and then you have a chance at winning the Super Bowl. You have no
Yeah.
chance of winning the Super Bowl if you're not playing in
Yeah.
it.
You just
um,
one more game. I keep
yeah,
saying that, one more game.
yeah,
People are congratulating me, and I'm just like, guys, we gotta win
yeah,
one more
yeah,
game.
yeah. I'm not
We
satisfied.
gotta
No
do.
way.
It's just like you think, like, I always think back to 2001 when we lost to the Patriots, and that was our Super Bowl, and they stole it from us.
Yep,
Um,
yep.
we were the team that should have won 2 out of 3 years.
Patriots. Yeah.
Uh, and I just feel like the Bengals win this week, that's them stealing our Super Bowl. Like, this is ours to
Yeah.
win. I honestly think we're a better team in all facets of the ball, all facets of the game. I feel like our running game is better. I'm not saying our
Mhm.
running back. I like Joe Mixon a lot, so I'm not saying our running back is better than Joe Mixon, but that offensive line doesn't work
Yeah.
as well as ours does. Um, our wide receiver core, even though Bengals have a great wide receiver core, come on, we got Cooper Kupp. We have Odell Beckham Jr. Our wide receiver core is better. Our defensive line is the best defensive line in football. Our secondary is better. Our linebacker core is better, in my opinion. Our offensive line is leaps and bounds
Yeah.
better. I honestly, as good as Joe Burrow is, there's a part of me that would still rather take Stafford
Yeah.
because Stafford has proven time and time again, dating all the way back to Detroit, that if you need a fourth quarter comeback, he's your guy.
Yeah.
Um, and we just seen him do it against the Bucks. Uh, I just feel like there's no way. Part of me wants this. There's no way we lose this game, but then the other part of me says, man, if you'd have told me back in 2018 that we would hold the Patriots to 13 points in the Super Bowl, man, I would have I would have ran to LA to be a part of the Super Bowl parade because I knew it was coming. And to think that high-powered offense scored 3 points in the Super Bowl was something that I still can't wrap my head around to this day. Like I said, if you would have told me that we would have held the Patriots to 13 points, I would have literally bet every dollar I have, my house, my car, and everything, and I would put it on the Rams because that's how confident I would have been. So you never know. I wish the game was going on tonight because I'm so eager to get there, man.
I hear you, man. What do you have Super Bowl plans? Like, what's the day gonna look like for you?
Yeah, I emailed. You're actually gonna find this funny. I emailed uh Matthew Stafford's wife.
Kelly. Yeah.
Yeah, I emailed Kelly Stafford a few times. See, you know how she was giving away NFC Championship tickets.
Yeah.
So I emailed her a couple times, see if she had any Super Bowl tickets. You
Yeah.
know, of course, you know I never got a response, but you know it was worth a try.
Well, why
But
not shoot
yes,
your shot? Yeah.
so I'll be watching it here, here in the basement, inviting some friends over.
Cool.
Um, and you know I went to Party City and I got some balloons, some
Nice.
Rams balloons, and some Super Bowl decor and stuff like that, and just throwing a small Super Bowl party. When the Rams made it in 2018, I told myself I'm not throwing a Super Bowl party. I want to watch it all alone because if we lose, I don't want nobody to see me cry.
Yeah.
Uh, all my family and friends invited themselves and found their way to my house anyway.
Oh no.
Yeah, but I felt like when we lost, I felt better that they were all there.
Yeah.
Uh, I don't know, it just felt better. I felt like if I was alone in that moment, I would have been a lot more sad.
Yeah.
So I said, you know, this year I'll definitely do the get together again. You know, any plans? Anything special?
Yeah, well, I'll wake up Sunday. I'll make a big brunch, that sort of thing. Probably French toast, I'm thinking. And then definitely I'm gonna enjoy. I enjoy pregame. I'll enjoy it. But I'm gonna do some pregame fun trivia to help pass the time on my channel, and then I'll do a watch party for the game.
Yeah.
For in the 2018 Super Bowl, you're gonna find this really sad. I had a horrible experience. I went to my church held a Super Bowl party,
Yeah.
and so I live near Toronto, Ontario.
Okay. I love
And
Toronto.
there's a lot of Bills fans. There's a lot of Detroit fans, but there's also a lot of Patriots fans. And I went there. There was probably like 100 guys there. It was all guys were there. There was tons of good food and everything. I was the only Rams fan. It was literally like pretty much over half the room were like Patriots fans, and then there was the Tom Brady haters, which supported me. So I appreciate it, but none of them were like legit Rams fans. And that whole game, I just had like all these like grown men just literally talking smack to me the whole game. And I'm just in my Rams Marshall Faulk jersey with my Rams toque, and I had blue and I had gold paint on. And I'm just like, come on, like Goff, like why couldn't you hit Cooks in the end zone? Like why couldn't you? And so then I left after the game. I drove home, and I was in university at the time. I go to my dorm, and all of these this van full of girls, they all yell at me, and they're like, "Hey, go Patriots! Rams suck!" And then they flip me on, and I was like,
Yeah.
I'm like, you suck. Like, you suck so much. You suck so much. So then I literally just like went to bed.
Yeah, pouring salt in your wounds.
I'm like, these people, I tell you.
Yeah. That's funny. I've made it to Toronto up there a couple times. I live in Rochester, New York. I'm not
cool.
sure if yeah, so about a 3-4 hour drive to Toronto. Yeah, I made it up there. I actually proposed to my wife at Casa Loma.
Okay, I can't say I know where that is, but cool.
Yeah, it's like a big castle in Toronto.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, it was nice. Toronto holds a special place in my heart.
That's really cool, man. Oh,
Yeah,
sweet. Thanks for sharing. Yeah.
Yeah. Man, let me see. I think what do we have? We have
some questions in the chat here.
Yeah.
Sorry, everyone, we've been ignoring. We've been talking about it.
What defense does the Bengals primarily run, and how can we exploit it? I'm not really sure what defense do they primarily run, but I know they've been giving up a lot of rushing yards in the postseason. They're averaging 127 rushing yards ran on them throughout this postseason. So I think we could definitely exploit that. I think Cam Akers and Sony Michel could have a pretty big game.
There's one player on the Bengals defense that I actually think is a big X factor in this game.
Safety.
Jesse Bates.
Yeah.
Yeah, that guy can ball out. I know he. If you talk to Bengals fans, they've had a love-hate relationship with him. But this postseason, he's been balling out.
Mm-hmm.
And I know the cornerback Hilton, and Eli Apple. Which, okay, sorry. Side note: the Eli Apple on Cooper Kupp talking point this week is literally the dumbest thing
What
ever.
was it? I missed that.
There's been this thing. It's not like a major factor, but people have been like, Cooper Kupp's gonna have Eli Apple on him.
Yeah.
That doesn't scare me.
Oh, that's what they were saying. I thought it was the opposite. Like Cooper Kupp has Eli Apple. Good for Cooper Kupp.
Yeah, that's my thought. I'm and plus, I don't think I think the Bengals defense of coaching staff is smart enough to double Kupp, and I think Hilton's probably going to be guarding him more just because it seems like Hilton's more of a slot corner. But this talking point of Eli Apple's been playing really good, and Cooper Kupp better watch it. No,
I seen a meme. I seen a meme that I thought was really funny. They said, what Cooper Kupp is gonna do to Eli Apple should be against the laws of Black History Month.
Yeah. Oh man,
oh man, and it was that was funny. But yeah, I come on, I encourage that matchup all day, every day. He has been playing pretty good though. But
yeah, no, absolutely.
Come on,
but
Cooper Kupp has over 2,000 yards this season. Can't nobody slow him down at this point.
And I think what a lot of people forget about Cooper Kupp, he's such a different wide receiver than other top tier wide receivers, right? There's other wide receivers that are probably faster than him or have a larger catch radius than him. But I will make the argument that he is the smartest wide receiver in the NFL. And he's doing stuff to a route tree that just no other wide receiver really does.
Yeah.
And how I don't know, if you look at I'm not saying Cooper Kupp is in the same conversation as Jerry Rice or things like that, because Jerry Rice is a phenomenal wide receiver.
Yeah.
But if you look at the football IQ approach to the game, Cooper Kupp has that. He's on the same page as his quarterback. Cooper Kupp can call an audible from the wide receiver position, and they'll do it.
Yeah, and he blocks amazing, and there's nothing he can't do. And I think that run after the catch is something special to watch.
Yeah, I heard someone call this game the Yak Bowl because of Cooper Kupp and Jamar Chase, where they lead the league in yak yards.
Yeah, I just feel, speaking of Jamar Chase, I just feel like that's another reason why I'm so confident. I just feel like everything the Bengals like to do, we have. Like I said in my preview and predictions video, if any of you guys haven't seen it, please go back and watch it. It's the last video I uploaded to my channel. I feel like when the playoffs started, if somebody asked the Rams, what team do you want to see in the Super Bowl? I think the Rams would have picked the Cincinnati Bengals because they match up so well. The Rams had the best defensive line. Bengals have the worst offensive line. Bengals love to run the ball with Joe Mixon. Rams haven't been giving up any ground yards on defense at all this last couple of weeks.
And we got to give credit to Raheem Morris, who we've been the Ramley's been really hard on him this year, but in these playoffs, he's been doing a great job.
Yeah, and I noticed I've seen some Rams fans that don't want to. They were so critical. He's completely turned the tide.
Yeah,
and they still don't want to give it up to him. They just say oh yeah, he's doing better now, but I still want a new defensive coordinator. It's like, why? First of all, we need continuity at this position because if he stays with us this year, he's good as gone next year. So it's let's just keep him while we can. And he's been playing for. He's been. Yeah. I don't know what happened in the beginning of the season, but he's definitely turned it around.
Yeah. And I'm so thankful for he seems to have hit that kind of that sweet spot of using your star player but also putting your role players in position for success.
Yeah, Yeah, definitely. Definitely. I think that the change was he started to put Ramsey on the number one wide receiver a little more.
Mhm.
Not 100% of the time, but a lot more. He was on the number one wide receiver, and he stopped giving that 10-yard cushion
Ugh, yeah.
as much. Every once in a while, you'll see, he'll do it again, but the just the play calling, it's more tight, and we're giving up 54 rushing yards in the playoffs per game.
It's amazing.
54. That's against the Niners, who all they want to do is run against you.
Run you down your throat, yeah.
Yeah. And that was against the
Bucks, Cards.
the Cardinals, who ran all over us the first time we seen them earlier on in the year. And the
To be fair, the
Buccaneers,
Cards didn't show up that game.
yeah, yeah. And the Buccaneers don't run as well,
Yeah,
but we all know what Leonard Fournette can do in the playoffs, and he couldn't do anything against us.
yeah.
Um, but going back to my point a couple of minutes ago, we also the Bengals love to go down the field with Jamar Chase, and we got the best corner in the NFL to shadow him. So I feel like we just match up perfectly. Everything they want to do, we'll have an answer for it. Hopefully, in a perfect world. But man, it's somebody says Mr. West says I'm nervous and excited for Sunday. It all comes down to this game. I don't care what the score is. All I want to win. Let's go Rams. And man, I couldn't echo those sentiments more.
Oh man, yeah. It's like nervous beyond compare, stoked beyond belief, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. We have it seems like we might have some Detroit Lions fans in here.
Hey,
Yeah. He said he told people for years that Stafford was not the problem in Detroit. He'll keep it rolling against the Bengals and get that Lombardi.
oh,
Um, but he's not normally the person to gloat. Hey, man, you get that Lombardi, man, gloat, gloat.
yeah.
It's fun though seeing that we did adopt a lot of Detroit Lions fans. I noticed.
Well, and I think that that's something like when you think about it, the Rams, like outside of like Warner, in like the past 20 years, we haven't really had a superstar quarterback, right? Like no
Yeah,
one ever had the chance to fall in love with Mark Bulger or like Bulger, and no one had a chance to like really like we all wanted Bradford to be that guy. It
yeah,
didn't happen. And even like Jared Goff, it was like even at Jared Goff's like high, people were like, okay, we have a capable quarterback. Like no one was ever like, oh yeah, Goff like he
uh,
should super.
I was. I
Yeah,
did. Yeah, 2018 when 2017 he had a good year. He took us to the
yeah,
playoffs. We
yeah.
lost to the Falcons in the first round. 2018, that Super Bowl season, I thought we had our quarterback for the next 15 years. I thought he was
Interesting.
superstar. It hurt to
Yeah,
see him regress like that.
the regress. Yeah.
Yeah, 2019 was bad, and 2020 was even worse.
Ugh, yeah.
Yeah, but
Well,
I did think we had our guy. I was wrong. Yeah,
well, and I guess for me, I thought he was like our Joe Flacco. That was my opinion of him. Like you can win games with him, but you got to put a team around him.
mhm.
And then
Well, you were
yeah, like
right.
yeah, like unfortunately I was, but and again, I don't think that it's like if you have a quarterback like that, that's fine. But then when he regresses so much that way, and he's averaging 2 turnovers a game, right? Like or more,
Yeah,
and the only time your team wins is not because of him, right? Like there wasn't a game that we had won that year really, besides I guess the Bucks game he played well in, but not there wasn't many anyway. Yeah, like so Stafford like for being 12 years in the same place, and like there are people that like they would say, oh, like Matt Stafford's my favorite player of all time,
yeah,
and
yeah.
to see him go to another team
Uh-huh.
and have success there, like why aren't you gonna be happy for that guy, right?
Right, right. Definitely, definitely. I mean, it's I'm still cheering for Jared Goff
Oh yeah, oh yeah,
and it's like if I could cheer for Jared Goff, I can imagine what Detroit fans feel for Stafford.
absolutely.
It's just funny, like when we do our YouTube videos, I get Detroit Lions fans
Yeah,
subscribing and commenting all the time, and they always have nothing but positive things to say about how they hope the Rams do it, and they're cheering for Stafford. So that's always good. We need as many fans as we can.
Yeah.
I think. Speaking of that, well, how do you feel about the Rams? This is a home Super Bowl, but
Mhm.
as you know, home field advantage in LA isn't always home field advantage. You've seen us go to the silent count against the Niners a few times. You know how it is when we play against the Dallas Cowboys in Los Angeles, and then there's a few other teams that travel really well as well. What are your thoughts on that?
I think that the reality is, because of the Rams' history of, like, we've been in multiple cities, and when you leave a city, people get hurt, right? And they're like
Mhm.
I've talked to a lot of former Rams fans from LA who are like, oh, when the Rams left LA, I became a fan of, the Raiders or the Niners or the Chargers.
Mhm.
And so then they were gone for 20 years. So if those fans are like 20 years to another team,
Yeah.
it's tough for them to come back to it, right? I've talked to people who, like, if you know Ramelia Sports Report, where he
Mhm.
said he lives in LA, he's a season ticket holder for the Rams, and he knows Niners fans that live in LA but get season tickets to Rams games just to go to the one game there, and then they sell off all the other games to other people.
Oh, wow.
And I think, like, the reality is, it's going to take time, right? And the Rams need to stay in LA. They need to stay home. And then, it's going to take, winning, having kids go to the game with their parents to kind of raise
Yeah.
up a new generation of Rams fans. And, there's guys like you and I who, we were kind of on that Greatest Show on Turf era as kids.
Mhm.
And, we're not bandwagoners, so we don't go to
Yep.
other teams. We stick with our team.
Yep.
And I think it just takes time to do that, right?
Yeah, yeah, you're hitting all the points that I was gonna make. You're hitting it right on the head there. I think converting the fans that they went to another team, I think that's a lost cause. I think those fans are
Yeah.
gone and they're not
And that's
coming back.
totally cool for them. Like,
Yeah.
let them enjoy their team. Yeah.
But I think the same way we became fans by enjoying the Greatest Show on Turf, it didn't matter where we lived. You
Mhm.
up in Canada, me in New York, it didn't matter. It was just great football. Um, and it was great football at the time when we started, when we first started to fall in love with the sport. And I think there's thousands of people this year falling in love with the sport
Yeah.
that are going to watch, hopefully, the Rams win a Super Bowl. And that's going to, gain us a lot of fans. And if we could just play good winning football
Yeah.
over time, and there's a reason why the Dallas Cowboys have the
Mhm.
biggest fan base in the world, because in the 70s, 80s, and 90s they were dominant.
Yeah.
Same thing with the Steelers, same thing with the Packers, um, same thing with the Niners.
Yeah.
Teams, you just got to be good, remain good, and us being in the biggest market, well, the second biggest market in America is going to help. And I think we just got to keep going. I think in 10 years, we'll be right up there. If we could just continue playing winning football for the next decade, which is a
Yeah.
big if. 10 years is a long time. Matthew Stafford's not going to be there for 10
Yeah.
more years. But if we can manage to do that, we'll be good. It's just going to take some time
Well,
converting the small kids that
yeah.
are just falling in love with the sport.
I think it does help, though, that we have some really lovable players. We have a very lovable coach in Sean
Mhm.
McVay, and
He'll be there
even
in 10 years. Yeah.
oh yeah, I want him till he's 70.
Yeah. Give him that 40-year contract.
Yeah, yeah. But like Cooper Cup, like, just I don't. Did you see his speech tonight?
I didn't. I forgot. No, I didn't, and I meant to ask you about the NFL honors, and I
Oh, dude,
completely forgot
NFL
about it.
honor. Yeah. So Cooper Cup won Offensive Player
Yeah.
of the Year, and his speech was very Cooper Cup, like humble in his demeanor, quick to
Now,
praise
where is
others.
he? Is this was this an event with a bunch of people there, or was this
Oh yeah, it was
virtual?
huge, man. Yeah, like it was
So
the
was
NFL honor.
now Rams, were they there to
So
receive these awards? Or
they both so Andrew Whitworth won Walter Payton Man of the Year,
yes.
and so Big Wit and Kupp, you could tell they were backstage secluded because when they came out, they didn't know where their wives were, but
Mm.
their wives were sitting next to each other in the crowd. It was really, really, touching. But
Yeah.
they yeah, so they were like secluded from other people, but everyone else was in the crowd. And then Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase won awards, but the Bengals they had like their own separate watch party somewhere. I'm guessing I think it was UCLA,
Mhm.
and they had like a video camera there, and like
Yeah.
so like Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase got to make speeches from there.
Okay. That's pretty cool. That's pretty
Yeah.
cool. And I'm assuming this must be taking place in LA somewhere.
It was at SoFi. Yeah, it was really
Oh,
cool.
okay.
You got to
Okay.
see some of the parts of SoFi
Yeah.
that like I hadn't seen before, which are really cool.
Yeah. Okay. And then the heartbreak. Can we talk about that really quickly? And we'll just wind down here because we're coming up on an hour.
Yeah, no worries.
But the heartbreak of the Hall of Fame.
Oh, Holt, Torrey.
This
I'm
is
happy Dick Vermeil got in as a
yeah.
coach, but yeah, Torrey Holt not getting in. It was
I
like,
just
come
don't
on.
understand. I
It's
don't Richard Seymour over Torrey
yeah.
Holt. I'm gonna make a video probably after the playoffs, after the Super Bowl, about how disrespected Torrey Holt is.
Yeah, he's so
This
disrespected.
is ridiculous. This like is unfathomable. Torrey Holt was my favorite player
Yeah.
growing up. Um, I just don't. Torrey Holt has better stats than literally half the wide receivers in the Hall of Fame today.
Yeah.
I just don't
I
understand what's
don't get it,
taking
man.
him so long. It's not like he's like a Terrell Owens who was a big headache and maybe not a team player all the time. Torrey Holt was the perfect teammate.
Yeah.
He did nothing but produce. I think he had what, 1,300-yard seasons in a row or something crazy like that.
He produced even when he went to the Jaguars. Like
Yeah.
like there's an argument that he's one of the best Jaguars players in
Yeah.
their history, right? Like
And as great as Isaac Bruce is,
yeah,
as great as Isaac Bruce was for the Rams, if you look at their statistics,
their
compare them,
career.
Isaac Bruce has better statistics based off of longevity. But we all know Torrey Holt was the better receiver once Torrey Holt got to LA or got
Yeah,
to St. Louis.
yeah.
And it's just like, come on, man. It makes me look at the Hall of Fame sideways. Like, is this really the best players in the world? Because there's not 20 NFL wide receivers better than Torrey Holt in the history of this game.
Makes no sense, man. It makes no sense.
Yeah, it's heartbreaking. I thought this was the one. I mean, he's definitely going to get in there eventually, but
Yeah.
oh man, another year waiting. I know he's probably heartbroken.
Well, and I felt like this year there wasn't a lot of clear cut like first ballot Hall of Famers. Like there's those some players that once they retire, 5 years they're gonna be in, right?
Yeah,
But like this year there was a lot of like I don't know
a lot
who's
of
gonna be
yeah,
getting. And when you looked at the nominees, you're like, yeah, Holt like is probably one of the closest no brainers in
yeah,
that group, right?
yeah. And Devin Hester didn't get in either, right?
No, yeah, like the
De-
best return man ever. Yeah.
Devin Hester plays a position, and nobody in the history of football has ever played that position better than him.
Yeah.
How is he not first ballot?
It
I
makes
don't
no
care
sense.
if it's a kicker, a punter, a long snapper, a
Yeah.
kick return. Nobody has ever done that better than you. You should be first ballot, no questions asked.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. It's crazy. It's crazy how they do that. Ah, man.
Well,
I'm
and like
getting angry all over
no,
again.
like I like even to be honest, man, like the whole process kind of ticks me off of like there's these select few people that are given a Hall of Fame vote, right? And a lot of them are journalists or analysts or things like that. And it's one of those things where it's like do you like do you just look at like the players that you really love the most, and so you gotta get to kind of gatekeep to it? And I don't know, the gatekeeper mentality kind of takes me off, but at the same time, I'd never want it to be fan voting.
No, yeah, that would be worse. But
Yeah.
something, I don't know, man. I think like they kind of gotta. It's like a catch-22 because at the same time, I feel like the NBA kind of lets too many people in the Hall of Fame. Where it's like that guy probably he was good, but he's no, he shouldn't be. But the NFL, I think, is just I don't know.
Well, it's you know what? At the same time, though, the fact that we're doing what we're doing is exactly why the NFL Hall of Fame is such a prestigious thing to
Yeah,
be in. Is that like there's so many players where you're like, that guy's not in the Hall of Fame, right?
yeah,
And though I absolutely think that like it's robbery that Torrey
yeah.
Holt did not get in
Yeah,
this year.
you know what I think? I think they have players where they're like, okay, this person is gonna get in the Hall of Fame, but he can't be first ballot. We got to make him wait 5 or 6 years.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, if you're gonna be in the Hall, then if you know what I mean, or they'll say like, this person has waited his time. Now we can elect them into the Hall of Fame, and it's like, if you're good enough, you're good enough.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's tough. But yeah, I'll let you go. I know it is your East Coast like I am, so we're a little past midnight.
No worries, man. Dude,
So
thanks for inviting me on. This was a lot of fun.
I appreciate it. We had a snag with the Super Bowl 34 watch party that I tried to have. If you guys are just tuning in, it got a copyright infringement, so we had to shut that down. And Payo Time was, so amazing and stepping in for me. And really quick before you go, I just need your prediction for the big game.
All right. So when I give a prediction, I like to predict not just the score, but the flow of the game. I think
Gotcha.
this is going to be a game that has mistakes in it early. I think that both these quarterbacks can throw a pick here and there. And I think that this game will be a higher scoring game. I think there's going to be some, ball movement up and down the field. Might be some defensive scoring in this. I am predicting 37-34 Rams win. Yeah.
That might be one of the better Super Bowls we've seen in a very long time, if that's the case. I can see it going two ways. I can see the Rams winning by a lot. Mm-hmm. Hopefully that's exactly what happens.
I'd love it.
But I do think Joe Burrow is good enough to, even under the pressure, to still perform. I think I could see a world where he plays mistake free. And I could see a world where this defense, who has struggled throughout the season, throughout the first half of the season, this Bengals defense, who has kind of picked it up as of late, nobody has been able to score a lot of points against them. Their last 11 games, including the playoffs, they had kept, I think, 9 opponents under 21 points in their last 11 games. I think there was a few in there that were under 21 points, but then they, kicked the field goal at the end of regulation to go over it. But it's been really close. This defense has been really performing over the last 11 games. I can see a world where, for some reason, this Rams offense starts off slow, and Joe Burrow plays good enough to keep this game close. I think that's perfect scenario for the Bengals. I don't see Joe Burrow breaking this Rams defense open. I got the Rams 27, Bengals 24.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That's still a score where we need to have defibrillators on standby, though.
Yeah, definitely. But hopefully it's a lot further than that. Hopefully I'm wrong there.
Oh, I would love if we could, halfway through the fourth quarter, just be be laughing. I'd love
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
Hopefully, I want to, pop some champagne at halftime and enjoy that halftime show.
Yeah.
That's what I want to do.
Yeah.
Let's do it by then.
Oh man, don't you hate it when it's a close Super Bowl and the halftime show? You're just like, come
Yeah.
on, like get over
Oh,
with.
hurry up. It's way too long.
Yeah.
I'm really excited for this halftime show because
Yeah, me
I'm a
too.
hip hop fan.
Oh, cool.
So I've been waiting for this for 25 years for a hip hop artist to do the halftime show. So I'm really excited for this, but I am not looking forward to the time. It's just,
Yeah.
it's like a 40-minute halftime show. It's like, come on.
Just get to the
Yeah.
game. Yeah.
Especially like if we come out dominant first 2 quarters, then it's like, come on, man. It's like a whole new game in the second half.
Yeah. No, totally.
Yeah.
Anyway, dude, thanks so much for having me on. This was a lot of fun.
Yeah. Right before we go,
Yeah.
CG
Hey,
Ruthless
CG.
Force said, "What's up, guys? Wish you were here, huh?"
Oh.
I had to do it, man. I'm sorry. But every time I'm a little too confident, I get scared. That's and things just don't go that way. So I wanted to predict the score would be really close. But we'll see how it goes. Maybe after the Super Bowl we can get back on and do this again.
Yeah, man, definitely. We got a collab in the off season with some stuff. And yeah, I'm looking forward to talking more Rams with you.
All right, man. Tell them where they can find you.
Yeah, just find me Payo Time, LA Rams YouTuber on YouTube. If you put in Payo Time, just like my name says here, you'll find me. And yeah, I've been vlogging every single day as long as the Rams have been in the playoffs. So I have at least 3 more vlogs to go.
All right, sounds good. Make sure you guys like and subscribe to Payo Time. I appreciate all you guys for watching. Stay tuned. New content right after the Super Bowl for me. Hopefully it's all positive content. I will catch you guys later.
Horns up.